इस एज में if what are the companies who would become Kodak? Because I see a lot of CTOs, they are just tricking themselves. And although it's writing on the wall, and जो वो सहारा लेते हैं वो लेते हैं कि look, enterprise को आप इस तरह शिप नहीं कर सकते, they need security, they need reliability, they need जिस तरह आपने कहा testing, proper testing and all that. They do say that, but this is not a very tall order to live up to for any entrepreneur to make it secure, reliable, right? So what do you think उस agentic AI या उस AI विजन के बाद भी कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि एंटरप्राइज लीडर्स अपने आप को ट्रिक कर रहे हैं? So Adil, one of my question is like, why enterprise reinvention is important, and what could go wrong if businesses do not reinvent themselves?
Yeah. So one of the major difference between startups and enterprises or mid-sized businesses and enterprises is the agility with which they adapt new customer demands, changing patterns and all that. Or AI provides that opportunity to enterprises to operate at the same level of agility that startups and mid-sized businesses.
So run us through some example. Like what do you mean by agility? How do you? So for example, think of any product companies. Let's say a company that builds HR software. Like it's a product company that builds HR software. And let's say it's a huge company, 5,000 people, and what does it mean? What does reinvention mean for that company? What do you mean by agility?
So look at the new products that are coming into the market. They're usually built by very small teams. But on the other hand, agar aap enterprises dekhein, what do those 5,000 people actually do? Where team of 10 people or 20 people build billion-dollar businesses in the face of having those 5,000 people only maintaining a linear growth. The difference is primarily, so like number one is employee productivity. Number second is for enterprise, new business opportunities. दोनों चीजें are very important. And I think AI, जो आप reinvention की बात कर रहे हैं, can play a very critical role in both of these areas, increasing employee productivity as well as opening new business opportunities.
So for example, if I am a CEO of a 5,000 plus people company and our company ship HR software, so what you are saying is कि जो काम मेरी 5,000 की team, so for example 80% of them were developers, so जो 4,000 developers हैं मेरे पास, now the same thing can be built by, let's say, very few people. Let's say if this is the case, so what are you suggesting? Reinvention means firing my engineers?
No. अब इसको प्रोडक्टिविटी के एंगल से देखें, 4,000 लोगों में 5,000 लोगों की कंपनीज में हाउ यू अनलॉक न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स इन न्यू बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटीज takes usually a very long time than the similar opportunities being unlocked in smaller companies. The process of basically rolling out new products, testing out new products, experimenting with new products, I think AI provides an opportunity to enterprises to quickly experiment, develop proof of concepts. Like, for example, having an AI team whose sole job is to actually do POCs that are cutting edge and that can unlock those productivity goals as well as those new business opportunities. So if you have like 4,000 people, I'm sure each one of them has specific work. So for example, why enterprises grow to that much number? वो growth आती है जो head count में, as per my experience, like when you basically gain more customers, every customer is different. So like enterprise plays in a clearly defined business area, but like since each one of their customer is very unique, so they have to have people on their team to cater to those customers. And then you need to have a team on the side who can play with the AI and deploy AI into certain areas of product to unlock those opportunities. And I think it's a great way, like if you have people, they can think in their own unique ways to create opportunities.
So what you are suggesting is, I'm just trying to come up with a point कि because हम POCs बड़े quickly कर सकते हैं, हम नए products को बड़े quickly launch कर सकते हैं, so that's a biggest opportunity for reinvention.
Yeah.
Now my question to you is कि while at one side it's great, it looks great that for example if I'm a Salesforce, I'm a Workday, I want to launch new software product, I can quickly launch it, I have a customer base, I can go to them कि देखिए हमने ये भी बनाया and you can have this.
Yeah.
But on the other side, what I am also aware as a CEO is like, now what I have built, I have an HR software or a sales platform, इसको भी बनाना अब कोई मुश्किल नहीं है.
Yeah.
So for example, any startup with 4 engineers, 5 engineers, a very good sales guy can disrupt my whole entire business and can go to my customers and provide the same level of service, value addition, reliability at a much cheaper cost. And for them, cheaper works is because they have very few people and they can add a lot of value at a very low cost. While you have 4,000 people, how enterprises would compete with these startups which are more agile, which are incredibly technical and extraordinarily passionate. But on the other side, you have 4,000 people, a Titanic that you need to convince के move fast. How do you see this? ये दोनों फिर क्योंकि velocity, engineering velocity की अगर आप बात करें, experimentation की बात करें, वो सिर्फ Salesforce और Workday के लिए तो कम नहीं हुई, वो तो उनके लिए भी कम हुई है, and they probably are in a much better shape to leverage. What do you say about this?
अच्छा, जो आप small teams की बात कर रहे हैं, like for example startup coming up and basically disrupting an enterprise space, it has a lot to do with how these companies think. जो enterprise के पास हमेशा जो एक advantage होती है कि their softwares are better tested, their business is better tested, and they have a lot of customers on their back to vote for their products. और उनके products, they've usually been through the journeys where जो नए incoming जो products आ रही हैं, they yet have to go through that. But the important point is like the amount of people that you have, how each one of them can think of disrupting their own work. That's important. So for example, if somebody's job is to, in a customer service example ले लेते हैं, what can they do to eliminate the human dependency in customer services, for example? ठीक है, if somebody needs to enable a plugin in their software, somebody need to upgrade their plane, somebody need to negotiate a better price for next year, for example. All those things can be automated by eliminating the humans in the loop, and it creates a lot of value for your customers. And जितने भी नए products आ रहे हैं हर space में, their promise is mostly like you do not need people to get any help. Like everything is available through a chatbot or a customer voice AI agent, for example, all that.
So I was listening to Mark Benioff, your Salesforce, and he said they have, I guess they have fired 9,000 customer service agents. So one of the area, and he said 2025 would be a year of agents, and they are going full throttle on agentic AI. Or the first thing जो उन्होंने की कि they integrated agentic AI capabilities within the customer services, और उसमें उधर उनको massively what he said was like they're firing, but they're also bringing those people into sales rather than just customer services. My question is, I'm just struggling with reinvention. I just want to come up with a point where reinvention does not mean firing the existing workforce. Because when I talk to people like you, all the CTOs and CIOs, when they say कि इस काम के लिए बंदे नहीं चाहिए, and we will do this thing with agent, there are lots of complexity, people, and there's the whole, I mean, when you talk to them, वो अपने साथ एक पूरा लेके आते हैं कि how this complexity evolves because of the people. तो हम एलिमिनेट करेंगे, हम इंजीनियर्स को, हम स्पेशली कस्टमर सर्विसेज को, इन देयर प्रॉब्लम को एलिमिनेट करेंगे. सो आई एम जस्ट स्ट्रगलिंग विद द आइडिया कि वेयर एंटरप्राइज रीइन्वेंशन डज नॉट मीन फायरिंग.
अच्छा, इसको आप ये सोचें कि so what do people mean for enterprise? Like, this is human capital, and I don't think with the AI वो human capital की investment खत्म हो रही है. वो shift हो सकती है. For example, you had 20 people in your customer support. Probably you do not need now 20 people. You need just 2 people or 3 people. But like, enterprises are definitely going to shift their human capital investment to another division. For example, an R&D division or strategy division, or like by hiring people who can unlock new opportunities or can go and talk to the customer and like see what value they look for in the future. Or yeah, उनके business goals कैसे align हो सकते हैं with their own goals, for example. So human capital, it's not like they're eliminating their human capital investment. वो shift जरूर हो सकता है.
From what second thing about reinvention is the leadership generally they are aware of what's going on and they want to change, because they at the first place they have built the business, they understand and they have the risk appetite कि वो change करें और कर भी लेते हैं. But there's an incredible amount of resistance that comes with change. So for example, I know lots of places which are just trying to integrate AI into their workplaces. They've failed miserably.
Yeah.
Because the people see, they not see any value, and there are a whole lot of clutters. Second, जो लीडरशिप है आपकी, जो जिसको मैं कहता हूँ कि जो लीडरशिप बियॉन्ड 40-45, वो जो लीडरशिप है, व्हेन यू टॉक टू देम कि आपने ये चीज इस तरह करनी है, या यू कैन नाउ दिस इज द न्यू वे ऑफ डूइंग इट, एंड दे से नो, this is not tested, this is not the enterprise works, because they have so much preconceived notions. So they're not letting that change happen, not that reinvention happen. How to handle those scenarios where your own team is resisting you, because probably in the new way they don't see themselves fit in the way they've been before the reinvention. How do you see this?
अच्छा, very short, like you do not need those people around you. Number one, जहाँ पे आप leadership की बात कर रहे हैं, leadership का एक ही काम होता है to come up with ideas and then execute on those ideas. And if you have to like force your ideas on them and they're like in denial of those ideas, जहाँ पे पूरी दुनिया कह रही है, they cannot see the value in like AI and generative AI and all these different tools that are now available out there. And my short answer is like, अगर वो value proposition आप उनको समझा नहीं सकते, clearly you do not need people around you who do not buy that. As simple as this.
But okay, so I mean you hire a lot. I think जो मैं देख रहा था, जो हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म है, हायरिंग प्लेटफॉर्म, उस पे देख रहा था, in the last couple of years you have you have interviewed thousands of people. Probably you are incredibly good at scouting talent. Do you have any question people can ask if I'm a CIO or a CTO and I want to bring in some leadership in my team to lead this reinvention? What is that a thing that I could ask जिससे मुझे पता लग जाए कि ये change, this guy would execute what I am trying to execute?
अच्छा, one of the important qualities that I look for when meeting with people and even like recruiting people is like their openness to change. How do they react to change? Do they embrace the change? Do they resist the change? Do they adapt to the changing dynamics of the organization and in the industry? So since मैं बहुत ज़्यादा software developers hire करता हूँ, and I always look for this, like, has a person only been stuck to a single technology for their whole career, or have they changed their tech stack as well? Are they open to it? For example, पाकिस्तान के अंदर में especially अगर बताऊँ, there is a lot of resistance. आज भी software developers, people who are writing web applications and mobile applications or data engineering, they think the AI is not for them. Whereas things have changed a lot. Like AI is the new English. It's the new language. Like especially generative AI की बात करें, मैंने पहले भी एक podcast पे जिक्र किया था. It has very simple. It's a natural language. You give it a prompt in English and you receive responses in English. You instruct it, call external functions, call external tools, execute code, research the web in plain English. It's just simple natural language that everybody know. And even then it like वो जो गैप है उसको ब्रिज करना मुझे लगता है बहुत आसान है और उसको उतना ही आसान होना चाहिए. So like people have to come and explore generative AI and how accessible these AI models are for specialized use cases, for example. और organizations को भी, enterprises को भी चाहिए to actually bridge that gap. वो उधर invest करें. For example, how your data engineering teams can leverage generative AI and these large language models, how your sales team can leverage these LLMs, how your recruitment team can leverage these LLMs.
So, do you think having a slogan जिस तरह Benioff ने बनाया कि this year would be a year of agentic AI and we are going to increase our engineering velocity using agents, we're going to do sales very differently, I mean all of that stuff. So do you think as an enterprise leader मुझे वो एक टॉप mantra रखना है कि this year would be an AI year, और उस mantra रखने के बाद because what I'm trying to help CIOs and CTOs is कि चले mantra तो रख लिया कि this year would be an AI year. Think of yourself like for example as a CTO of a leading business और जिसने रख लिया कि this year would be a year of AI. उसकी ट्रांसलेशन इंजीनियरिंग वेलोसिटी में भी है, उसकी ट्रांसलेशन सर्विस कस्टमर हाउ यू सेल प्रोडक्ट, हाउ यू बिल्ड प्रोडक्ट, हर चीज में है. उस ट्रांसलेशन के लिए फ्रॉम टेकिंग दिस विजन इनटू रियलिटी इनटू एग्जीक्यूशन बीच में क्या चीजें हैं कि देयर आर ओनली, अगर हम पास्ट की रीइन्वेंशंस भी देखें तो देयर आर ओनली वेरी फ्यू कंपनीज हु आर एक्चुअली एबल टू ट्रांसलेट. आई मीन थिंक अबाउट कोडैक. कोडैक की एग्जांपल सब बताते हैं. कोडैक ने 1976 में डिजिटल कैमरा बना लिया था, बट उनका जो बिजनेस था प्राइमरीली उनका बिजनेस फिल्म से आ रहा था, एंड देन दे समहाउ आई थिंक ट्रिक्ड देयर माइंड कि दिस इज नॉट गोइंग एनीवेयर, दिस इज नॉट गोइंग एनीवेयर, इसको तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा ना, दिस इज नॉट गोइंग. समहाउ दे ट्रिक्ड देयर माइंड ऑल्दो इट वाज, आई मीन दे कुड सी राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम कि दिस इज नॉट द फ्यूचर. इस एज में इफ व्हाट आर द कंपनीज हु वुड बिकम कोडैक? बिकॉज़ आई सी लॉट ऑफ CTOs, they are just tricking themselves. And although it's writing on the wall, and जो वो सहारा लेते हैं वो लेते हैं कि look, enterprise को आप इस तरह शिप नहीं कर सकते, they need security, they need reliability, they need जिस तरह आपने कहा testing, proper testing and all that. They do say that, but this is not a very tall order to live up to for any entrepreneur to make it secure, reliable, right? So what do you think उस agentic AI या उस AI विजन के बाद भी कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि एंटरप्राइज लीडर्स अपने आप को ट्रिक कर रहे हैं कि नहीं 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 नहीं, नहीं ऐसा नहीं है?
मुझे लगता है कि दिस शुड स्टार्ट विद mandating a budget for AI and cutting down on human capital investment, for example, in certain divisions or certain areas. So, for example, if your customers are growing, your customer support is growing, you can mandate as an enterprise leader, we're not going to invest anymore in additional customer support. Instead, we should go for deploying AI solutions to do that. So वो mandate करनी पड़ेगी इस तरह से. Rather than say कि okay, we'll continue our earmarked investments in the human capital and in the way we have been traditionally executing the work. And we'll also keep on looking for integrating AI into some of these places. आपके exactly areas identify करने पड़ेंगे कि what are the areas जहाँ पे AI contribute कर सकती है, and then basically shifting some of the investments that you do elsewhere to rolling out those AI programs.
So if my company is serving, let's say, 2 customers or 1 customer with 25 engineers. अभी मैं engineers की बात करूँगा. Would it be okay if I set this goal कि अब एक customer को serve करने के लिए 25 engineers नहीं, let's say 3 engineers चाहिए, और remaining we would bridge that gap in engineering velocity through AI?
Definitely, लेकिन इस क्वेश्चन को आप for example ऐसे भी फ्रेम कर सकते हैं कि can I achieve the same amount of work that would have been traditionally done with 20 engineers 2 years ago with 5 engineers today? And the answer is yes. And that is definitely a given now. कि आप कर सकते हैं with all these tools available, AI at your fingertips, like 100%.
One of the things that enterprise software companies do is software तो आपने ship कर दिया, spin कर दिया. Now you have a very large maintenance teams जो उन softwares को देखते हैं. Generally regions भी होते हैं, regions में divide किया होता है, but there are large maintenance teams. उन maintenance teams के अंदर एक ये चीज, they understand the domain of that software, that उसमें क्या intricacies हैं उसकी, उसको भी समझ रहे होते हैं. So do you also think that AI would have something to do with the domain, and or it's only about engineering velocity? क्या bootstrap product को या feature develop jaldi kar lo, or it's like, I mean, can I understand the domain and then because if I do that, then probably जो मैंने एक region को serve करना है 25 engineers से, तो probably I can serve that with 2 engineers. So how do you see this?
Absolutely, this is, I think, one of the biggest value propositions for enterprises. Thanks you brought it up. So even in our own experience, you have an enterprise software, you serve a lot of enterprise customers across different regions. Every region has their own unique feature set that you do not offer in other regions. होता क्या है कि you have to maintain a team for every region. अब उस रीजन में कोई सपोर्ट का काम आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा, बट यू नीड टू डू दैट टू इंश्योर द बिजनेस कंटिन्यूटी फॉर योर कस्टमर्स. एंड द ओनली थिंग दैट इज डिफरेंट इज that unique feature set that you've developed for that region or for that customer. And AI can definitely do a lot in helping anybody who understands the product understand the unique value, the unique feature set that you have developed for that region or for that customer, and they can, roll up their sleeves and jump in and, fix issues, develop new features and everything else. And I think वो जो हर region के लिए 20-25 engineer आपने बिठाए हुए हैं, you do not need them. You probably need just one maintenance team who can take care of your different revisions of your product across different customers or regions.
I think that has to do with कि आपने फिर mandate भी करना है, क्योंकि by default
Exactly.
अगर आप shrink करेंगे अपनी टीम को, आप कहेंगे कि अब ये एक ही टीम है जो ये सारे डिवीजन को देखेंगे, we are 5 engineers, because naturally जो उस maintenance team को head कर रहा होगा वो कहेगा, look, I mean because we see this a lot when we talk to different customers कि वो कहते हैं look, I mean we understand, but clearly AI अभी वहाँ पे नहीं है, और this is not possible in an enterprise way. उसमें resistance, वो leader की बहुत सी resistance वो उनकी टीम भी उसको बता रही होती है, but they are not realizing that this is a new way of doing work. So मुझे ही लगता है वहाँ पे जो आपकी leadership है, जो आपका board है, they have to mandate it. Yeah. It's not yes or no. I am totally up कि आप consensus build करें, but वहाँ पे I think you have to go all in and mandate that this is a new way of work. If you're not doing it, you should not be part of this workplace. Exactly. Because I think what I have realized while talking to customers is most of the leadership try to build a consensus. उस consensus building exercise में reinvention के लिए they missed the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, and all what they say is that they wasted 2 years just to make the consensus. वहाँ पे I think the leadership अगर है तो they have to be strong-headed. जिसको founder mode भी, अब तो नाम भी आ गया founder mode. It's not like founder mode, it's a leadership mode. You have to mandate it कि यही तरीका है अपने करने का. Go figure it out how you're going to do it.
Exactly. तो जो देखें उसमें enterprise का जो है mostly वो क्या चीजें ऑप्टिमाइज कर रही होती हैं वो समझना इम्पोर्टेंट है. दे ऑप्टिमाइज फॉर देयर रिस्पांस टाइम, दे ऑप्टिमाइज फॉर द रिलायबिलिटी ऑफ द सर्विसेज और प्रोडक्ट्स दे ऑफर. और ये जो इतने सारे टीम्स होते हैं, स्पेशलिस्ट होते हैं फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक प्रोडक्ट एरिया और फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक कस्टमर, वो एग्जैक्टली इन्हीं चीज़ों को ऑप्टिमाइज करने के लिए वो लोग बैठे होते हैं. एंड आई थिंक इफ यू हैव एन LLM trained over your own product data or who understands their customers well, I think वो जो response time है और जो reliability है उसको match किया जा सकता है with very fewer people.
Let's zoom out from the enterprise software business. Let's talk about some traditional businesses. So for example, not traditional, I would say, let's talk about banking. One of the things that AI is, I mean, if we achieve super intelligence. I mean, banking serves a certain markets. I mean, but we probably we thinking this is the best way of doing banking, right? Imagine a super intelligence tells us that's not probably the right way to serve the banking. This is the new way of banking, right? This is the new way of doing things. Even don't give it a word banking. What I am trying to come up with is कि कौन सी ये जो बैंकिंग में जो लीडरशिप है, जो बैंकिंग टीम्स हैं, जो इंजीनियर्स हैं वहाँ पे, what are the things they should be ready for? Because AI has made disruption very easy.
Yeah.
So you have an access to a polymath who is now your co-pilot, and you probably come up with ideas that are simply unthinkable before, and then you have the engineering velocity. So जो incumbents हैं, how should they adapt and look out for these scenarios जो अभी तो नहीं है लेकिन किसी भी वक्त आ सकती है? तो should they be building their AI labs? Should there be a dedicated budget for these to look out and experiment? How they really can be what I would say कि disruption resistant, उनका business बच जाए उस disruption से. How do you see कि वो कैसे make sure करें इस चीज को?
बैंकिंग अब दो तरह की है, कंज्यूमर बैंकिंग है, दूसरी कॉर्पोरेट बैंकिंग है. दोनों में बहुत ज्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल कंज्यूमर बैंकिंग की बात करें तो अब जो ट्रेडिशनल बैंक्स हैं उनका केवाईसी का प्रोसेस काफी लंबा होता है. ठीक है, दैट कैन बी एक्सपोनेंशियली रिड्यूस्ड जो केवाईसी का ओवरऑल जो प्रोसेस है. नंबर सेकंड इज फॉर एग्जांपल फ्रॉड डिटेक्शन. Third is, for example, money laundering. All these use cases, like banks spend a lot of time, and the consumer banking sector spend a lot of time in doing these things. As well as उसके अलावा जो बाकी जो self service की जो उनकी जो applications हैं, they offer to consumers, for example, requesting a new checkbook, requesting a plastic card, और ये सारी चीजें those can be like automated. These days, like some forward-looking banks have deployed voice signature applications in their customer service to authenticate the person who they are talking to is the real customer by maintaining a voice signature, digital voice signature for their consumers and their customers. And all these can be, such solutions can be deployed to optimize for a better customer service, by reducing KYC, by ensuring that there is very little risk of fraud and everything. So, and that's how they can remain safe and relevant. जो माइक्रो फाइनेंस, अगर पाकिस्तान की बात करें, माइक्रो फाइनेंस सेक्टर इसीलिए निस्बतन सेफ है क्योंकि और स्टेट बैंक हैव put a limit, top line पे एक लिमिट रखी है कि the amount of money a customer can maintain their accounts or can keep their accounts, whereas traditional banks में there is no such limit. So वो जो security और governance की जो requirements होती हैं traditional banks की becomes much more complex than microfinance banks, and that's why like traditional banks has to invest a lot in these initiatives to make sure that the customer funds are safe from fraud, there are no money laundering activities, for example, and everything else.